Is that 3 already?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll call this meeting to order. It's Thursday, September 19th, 2024, and it's 3 o'clock. And we're here to discuss the Old River Road paving project for Public Works. I'll turn it over to our director, Jessica Spency.
Okay, so we've been talking for quite a while about the RAT grant that was awarded to put $200,000 into some pavement improvements on Old River Road up the Coeur d'Alene River. And so now it's project season, we're ready to go. Originally, we were planning, and my communications with the board previously have been, we were going to do the paving ourselves. Due to several events beyond our control with regards to our equipment, our staffing levels, recently in the last few weeks, that's not going to be possible for us to do. So in the 11th hour, we've had to switch some gears. I've been working closely with our consulting engineer, Jim Roletto, on this, on the best way to move forward so we can still continue to get our project done and utilize our RAC money, because we have a limited time frame in which we have to use that money.
Okay.
So what was recommended to us originally was just to do a change order off of our contract, which we had put out and publicized on the Silver Valley Road paving, the bigger $1 million project, which would have been suitable, and we could have done that, but I always want to make sure that we are trying to make sure we're getting the best price, for any work that we procure. And so we went through Idaho Code, we reached out to some other people for guidance to make sure we were doing everything we needed to do. And in Idaho Code 67-2805, it addresses not so much the purchasing procurement, but procurement of public works construction. And that's what these types of projects would fall into. So we opted to go with 67-2805 2, which talks about procuring services for construction projects in excess of $200,000. And then from there, we went with, you can select A or B. We opted to go with category B on that one. Category B talks about pre-qualifying people and then soliciting the bids directly from them, rather than publicize in the paper, have the 2-week mandatory waiting period. And so we did have a pre-qualifying process, which consisted a lot of the bidders who bid on our original Silver Valley Road project, and we selected the 3 that bid on that project who had their own asphalt plants, because that was really in this short time frame what was going to make this project go through. And so we did communicate with them on our process as we have chosen. They didn't have any questions or objections, and so then we did solicit a bid with the scope of work from that. So we did get 3 bids back from them. And Jim Roletto just reviewed those today.
Now that the section B, that's not a request for proposal, is it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I saw A where you have to go out and you get sealed bids.
A is the sealed bid process. B is a pre-qualification process, and so it's not a request for qualifications. It is internally you have a pre-qualification criteria or process. And so that is what we did.
It's quicker and it's short lists, it kind of short lists. And we thought the 3 that bid our other project, which is Poe Interstate and Coeur d'Alene Paving, they all have asphalt plants, and so it's you can't beat their prices because anybody else would have to. So it was really, Commissioner, to try to move it fairly quick and to verify that our change order process, which that was what I was first recommending. But she said, how about belts and suspenders? I said, let's do it. And so we sent out the bid, told them we wanted it pulverized, paved, same as the project we're doing now.
Okay.
And so we got that, and so we communicated, told them we were on a short time frame. They all said fine, and they all submitted their bid, and I recommended that we go with the low bid, which is Interstate, which was a very good bid. They are here, they're mowed, they're paving tomorrow for you as soon. So
On the other project.
on the other, so it's anyways, like I say, I think it was belts and suspenders. We thought we'd do it again. When we do a change order, as you probably know, when you do a change order project, you negotiate that price because you're already, with the contractor that you selected through a process, but you're with him. It comes down to knowing if his offer is a good price or not, and so sometimes you guys rely on me, and so I'm looking at what's the price, what could it be, what should it be, and so when I saw he was going to be somewhere around 113, I told Jessica that's a good price. I know it is. I know the other projects that are going on today in the area, but she thought, well, why don't we just still run it up the ladder?
Yeah.
So we did. And you can see in front of you that it was substantially better than what Poe could do for us. And Poe is paving out there too on I-90. And then Coeur d'Alene Paving, that's a little tougher for them. I like them. They're small. I like them. In fact, I know them very well. I always root for them because they're local guys, but they can't necessarily come in. They were third last time we bid this too.
Okay.
So it looked just like that last time we bid it. A little closer, but still,
Yeah,
they gave us.
$100,000 cheaper.
Yeah, it's
The lowest bid.
but we've talked to them. They're waiting for their call because of how short this is. They're very much, in fact, Jessica just got the call from Poe saying, I need to mob if I know who's getting this. Well, so we pushed you on this one, but I think we've made some promises to people up the Old River Road, and we've picked some. That road's in tough shape, but we've picked the worst of a bad road. So we're going to fix 3 different places, pretty nice little stretches, but not nearly as much as we would like to do.
Okay.
And you'll probably hear that. Why didn't you do more? And it's money. We did get the tuna from Rack. You've thrown another 100 in there.
Yes, I talked with the board previously about using our unused chipping line because we weren't able to do our chipping project on Silver Valley Road due to the construction, and throwing that at this Old River Road project. So we were going to do that whether or not we were doing it ourselves or not. So because the Rack award was $200,000.
Okay.
With no match, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So.
And this
Okay,
can
so you can
happen,
use the chip.
and yes, and so this can happen without a request to open up the budget. I had talked to Peggy about how something like this would be facilitated so that it showed well to the auditors, and she said that I would just meet with her and let her know how we were working with that, as long as we had the commissioner's blessing to do that, as long as our bottom
Okay,
line
so
was good.
we can still do it right now.
Yes.
For last year's or this.
Yes, because the work's going to happen. I mean, they're going to start next week. Like this is a project that's just going to be a few days long, and it's going to be done before the end of the month.
Okay.
So invoicing, everything is going to be done this fiscal year. And
so
so you can see why the urgency, why we're kind of scrambling at the last minute when we had to change directions.
Okay. Now, how much now on the Old River Road is a lot of it? Are you going to do the upper part where?
We're doing some on the upper and some on the lower. So the project scope allowed us to go from the beginning of the road up to as far as milepost 8. Just as a reference, Bumblebee Road is approximately 5, right about 5.
Yeah.
So just so you can see where that lies. And what we did was I went up there, we took Jim up there, and we took Shane, the supervisor of the Smokerville district, and we really poured over that road. I mean, at the end of the day, the whole thing needs to be torn up and replaced. I mean, how do you choose what is the best part to do and not do? But there were certain parts that were significantly worse than some of the rest, and we all three agreed that those should be the ones that got the attention. And so to get ahead of it, what we did was we had Shane's crew go up and do the ditching that needed to be done to get that ready to go. There was one culvert that needed replaced that it was way less expensive for us to get in there and do it, through our road department, through our regular maintenance budget, to take care of that and get ahead of that so we wouldn't have any problems with culverts in that area. We checked all culverts to make sure we were getting ahead because we want this pavement to last. We requested bids on a pretty stout mix, the same one that we got for Silver Valley Road, because we don't want to have to be doing this again in a few years. I mean, we want this to be a lasting permanent fix that is well maintained.
Yeah, this mix is equal to what we have in Silver Valley Road, one of your most traveled roads and stuff. So we've got a good mix there. And we did go up to mileposts about 7. Between 7 and 8 is what we classified as the worst. It's about 1,400 feet there that we're going to get. Then we came down, and you guys call it Powder Curve. There's a curve you might remember below Bumblebee, kind of a hard curve, and the guy has a wall there. That is really beat up too. Part of it's shade and thing. That's about 600 feet. So we took that. The next worst place was down by the access to the river, the boat launch down that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so with our remaining money, we went there up towards upriver, and we haven't put the mark on where that ends because to see if we, the money, we're probably going to get only maybe 800 feet of that, maybe 1,000 if we just kind of do the numbers with their bid that came in to see how much we can get. So we did prioritize the area.
Okay. So how much paving are we going to do in mileage or quarter mile? Or?
So it's right a little over a mile, slightly over a mile. It's 2,500 tons. I don't know if you
Yeah, 2,500 tons.
Yeah. So that's how we had them bid. It was 2,500 tons was going to work within our budget because our budget's right around 300. We got a little bit more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So a little conservative on 2,500. But we thought let's have them bid the quantity we think we can get, and at 20 feet we could work our way. So I must have said that wrong on the 1,400 feet because it's more than that. So a mile's like 50, almost. We're probably going to get somewhere around 6,000. We must have spent more of it up at milepost 7 because we're almost doing 3/4 of a mile there. I misquoted. It's not 1,400. It's more than that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know it's 250 tons because that's what all mapped out. And so that's how we priced it. And we're not going to go over. We'll make sure the contractor comes in right at the budget we have by marking ahead of time and agreeing this is how far we'll go in each one, and he'll agree, and then we'll go there. The pulverizing guy left his equipment here, anticipating that he was going to be doing it, so it's parked out there, and they're like, "When can we move it?" So no, I think it's a good deal.
Is some of that road base going to be rebuilt? Have to be rebuilt?
So here's what we do with that pulverizing. So I really like rehabbing in Shoshone County with the pulverizing because it leaves the material there. Instead of like taking off the asphalt, taking it somewhere, bringing back base and bringing back asphalt, we pulverize it right there and put it right back down. So we go get all the plant mix and we get a couple inches of the base, sometimes 3. We get the base and it comes up, and it's kind of it's got still quite a bit of asphalt really in there, and so it's an asphalt base, and we roll that and tight blade that down. Then we put 4 more inches on top of it. So sometimes we take it away, but I find rehabbing when we have limited funds, using that and not removing something, because the thicker the good stuff you have, the better the road. So, if we can get more base and more is better than taking some out and bringing it back, and then you're equal. On the interstate right now, they're milling 2 and they're putting 2 back. They didn't really gain a lot there. They gained surface. They gained surface, and the surface is a lot better. They didn't gain strength. We're gaining 4 inches of strength by putting the pavement on it. So I think it's a good practice. We're using it quite a bit here. You might remember the paved roads. There we took it away. It's a little bit tied to the contaminants. We had a little bit more scrutiny on how we use their money. But it was painful to watch us take that away, take some base away, and then bring base back and pavement back, and now you're back where you were. It's beautiful, but did we make it stronger?
Yeah, that's
So maybe slightly, but anyway, I was going to be here for your hearing, so I thought I'd stay for this too.
Yeah, I asked him. I said just in case, since this is kind of a little bit of a rush, and we normally don't operate this way, let's just be here to answer all questions that you guys might have.
Yeah. You have any more?
No, I don't have
Okay.
any other questions.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll move to accept the interstate concrete and asphalt bid. for
Okay,
the Old River Road.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we're gonna, put in the chip sealer for the remaining amount after the
Correct.
$200,000 rat grant.
Correct.
Okay. Any public comment?
Yeah, how long's the Old River Road total?
What's that?
How long's the road total?
Oh, boy.
18 miles, approximately 18 miles.
18 miles. I guess I'd have the question why we're not just doing gravel.
Would you like me to? Okay. The area we're at is paved, so I think if it were gravel right now, which some of it is, we would go gravel to gravel. If we were going to fix that, I don't think we'd pave it. I would not recommend you pave the gravel part. I'd refurbish the gravel, bring in new gravel. But since it's paved, Matt, we went from pavement to pavement. You could take that out, but then you go pavement, gravel, pavement. That's a good question, though.
The pavement is a lot more expensive to replace.
To maintain.
It is, and
And that is your problem up there because you see all the patches. It's a good point.
it is a good point. There's a little more of a layer to that one. It would become a little more complicated than just a discussion with me trying to talk to the board and the board saying, yes, we all agree as a county we should downgrade the surface on that. That one is a Schedule A road where we partner with the Forest Service. And so we would need to work with Forest Service and get their approval before we could make any surface downgrades on that.
That would be hard for me to recommend that just because you get some speed going and you're in gravel, then you go to the asphalt. I hear what you're saying though, but I think it'd be hard to have that not being consistent a little bit. But that's a good point.
The 296 out, I don't understand how we getting so good of a deal because we've been told it's $1 million a mile to pave.
Yeah, well, this is only 20 feet, and
Well, 6,000 feet of it, you said it's being paved.
I'll tell you why. It's a good. Well, first of all, we got a really good price for them on Silver Valley Road was $91 a ton. That's a really good price, and we got that because of quantity. You have a big quantity, and also their plant's right there.
Yeah.
I mean, their plant is right there. We're in Smelter Paving, so maybe answer to Matt's question is you're at 113 this time, which is a really good plant. They're mowed. All their guys are here. Their equipment's here. Their loaders, their rollers, their they're all here. And I believe that's why we got it. I believe that they will finish. They'll pave tomorrow. They'll pave Saturday. We'll clean up Monday, and I think then they're going to over the road. I think it's mobilization, a big part of it. I really do.
And is that part they're doing the freeway too?
They
So
did
they're
the
already
freeway, which helped us on Silver Valley Road. Now Silver Valley Road is helping us on Old River Road, and we talk about that a lot. We always have here. It shown when ITD is paving. Is there a way for us to get some paving projects out there because we'll capitalize on whoever's here? And we've always thought that way in the years I've been here, and so we knew Silver Valley Road would probably get a good bid from them, but. Maybe we didn't know it'd be that good. Pretty good.
Yeah. Last one, not for you. I thought last year we didn't have a paver. Something came up and the county didn't own a paver anymore.
We still do own a paver. It's an old paver. We can't even trace the year, even off of the purchase documents. But it's over 40 years old. And it's almost impossible to get parts for, and that's really where we ended up this year was we've had a failure that we can't fix at this point. So knowing what we know at this point, looking forward, if we're going to be looking at doing any of our own paving, that's a conversation we'll probably have to have sometime over the winter time.
All right, anything further, Commissioner Cassidy?
No,
Nothing further?
thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you for that. We'll get something paved. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
You go make your calls.
Yeah.